The sun was melting over the horizon, turning the sky above the Arizona wasteland into a blazing canvas. The sand shimmered as if the very earth was about to catch fire. Along a trail carved by countless cattle hooves rode a lone rider. His name was Sam Clayton, a man of few words. Sam was known for his courage. In a gunfight, his hand never trembled, yet inside he carried honor, ready to help the weak and punish the wicked. On his shoulder, bouncing with every step of the horse, sat his companion, a rooster named Duke. But Duke was no ordinary bird. This odd creature had an uncanny instinct. He sensed danger before it struck, clucked nervously when trouble was near, and sometimes even joined the fight. Sam often joked that Duke's nose for trouble was sharper than a Pinkerton's. Their goal was simple, yet dangerous: to reach the border town of Santo Claro, where a gang was holding hostage the orphaned son of Sam's old friend. Sam had sworn an oath to bring the boy back, no matter the cost. "Where are you dragging me, Sam?" croaked the rooster, flapping his wings as if he might fly away, only to steady himself back on Sam's shoulder. "To Santo Claro, Duke," the cowboy answered, adjusting his hat. "And there we'll find men who think they can use a child as bait." The rooster ruffled his feathers and eyed the cacti along the trail. "Smells like trouble," he muttered. Sam smirked. He knew. When Duke started talking, danger wasn't far. And sure enough, as they rode through the canyon, a gang of armed men leapt out from behind the rocks. "Well, cowboy," snarled the one-eyed leader, "the road to Santo Claro is closed. Turn back if you want to live." Sam spat into the dust, pushed his hat back slightly, and calmly replied, "Only the Lord can close my road. You best step aside if you don't want your boys lying in the dirt before I light a cigarette." The gang laughed, but their laughter died quickly. Duke flapped up onto a rock and let out a deafening crow that echoed through the canyon. In that instant, Sam drew his revolver, and the air filled with the whistle of bullets. The shootout didn't last long. Sam's aim was true, as if the devil himself guided his hand. Those who survived scattered, leaving their leader cursing and bleeding. "Told you," Sam muttered, climbing back into the saddle. Duke crowed triumphantly, as though claiming the victory for himself. They pressed on, but the desert was its own enemy. Thirst, cold nights, endless miles of dust. More than once, Duke spread his wings to shield Sam's eyes from the sandstorms. By the third day, they reached Santo Claro. The town was torn in two, one side with shops, a saloon, and a church. The other, the gang's den, holding the townsfolk in fear. In an old barn, they said, the boy was kept. Night fell over the town. Sam crept toward the barn. Duke, perched on his shoulder, turned his head sharply. "Smell a rat," he whispered, and at that very moment the doors burst open and armed men surrounded the cowboy. The one-eyed leader was alive and waiting. "Got you now, hero," he sneered. "This is where your trail ends." Sam didn't move. He just tilted his head slightly. "Duke, time." The rooster took flight, claws flashing, and struck the leader straight in the face. The man screamed, clutching at his eye. In that instant, Sam's revolvers thundered, and the barn erupted in chaos. Bullets whined, boards splintered, smoke filled the air. Duke darted through the fight, crowing so loud that the gang's hands shook. When the smoke cleared, only Clayton stood. At his feet, the one-eyed leader groaned, broken and beaten. Sam walked to the corner, lifted the frightened boy to his feet, and offered his hand. "Time to go home, son." Morning broke with a golden light. Santo Claro breathed again. Townsfolk stepped into the street, watching as the cowboy led the boy toward the church. Duke strutted proudly ahead, tail feathers high, as if he alone had defeated the gang. "They ought to build you a statue, feathered hero," someone laughed. Sam just smiled faintly and turned toward the horizon. A new road awaited, with new dangers, and he knew, as long as Duke was by his side, no one would ever catch them off guard. The rooster let out one final crow, echoing across the town. And in that cry lived the very spirit of the Wild West: freedom, courage, and just a hint of madness.